Hey everyone, it's Yishan here. Just a couple of things before we get into the video. Number one, if you enjoy the content, do please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. And number two, I've got a couple of affiliate links, free ways to support the channel. Number one is my TCG player link. If you shop there, I get some of the money you send on the website. It costs you nothing extra. Number two is my Your Playmat affiliate link. They make custom sleeves and mats. This is a custom sleeve right here. Check them out. If you use that affiliate link, you get 10% off. Without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video.
So I thought it would be better to show you guys the FTK first if you haven't seen it already. Now, if you already know how the FTK works, you feel free to skip to the deck profile start, which will be in the timestamp in the description somewhere. Otherwise, guys, I'm just going to show you guys how the FTK works. So sort of what's required, how a combo works. That way it'll give good context to the actual deck profile itself. So I start with the combos first this video. And it's really straightforward. You need Warbler and Sparrow in your opening hand. Now, I should mention that this can be a bird call. This can be a bird call, but it has to be Warbler or Sparrow, but you can have a bird call substitute for either one of these. Then you need to open any one of these four monsters. It does not matter which one, but you need to open one of them. So any of the Lyriluscs or Nerval, you're going to search all four of them in your combo. So that's that. You don't need the cross-out designator. It's nice to have. And then you just need one card to discard. That's not, if you don't want to discard your cross-out designator. So 1, 2, 3 cards needed, and then the cross-out designator, 4th card. That's all you really need. So I'm just going to show you the case where let's just start with the combo. Okay, so let's just say you have, you have Lyrilusc bird call, boom, 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 and a blank in your hand. Okay, so this is an FTK. It does not matter what the last card is, but you do need it because we're gonna have to discard some cards. Okay, so that's important. So okay, let us begin. Let's first go bird call, and I think I put the Cobalt Sparrow on top. Okay, so bird call has been activated, and then now we can, even if we want to be fancy, we can use the bird call to special out the Warbler, special out the Sparrow. Okay, so we're just gonna start grabbing stuff that we don't have. I usually like to grab the Wagtail first, if I don't have it, but we already have it, so let's just grab Sapphire Swallow. Okay, so Comp Blast started. Okay, we're gonna overlay these two for an Lyrilusc Recital Starling, and then we're gonna detach, activate the effect, and then we can search Nerval, let's just say. Okay, and then we're gonna go with Swallow, Sapphire Swallow plus Celestine Wagtail. And Celestine Wagtail, the reason why you can't start with Celestine Wagtail is because you can't use Bird Call display in the combo, because you need the Celestine Wagtail. You can't have it search Bird Call, you have to have it search Bird Sanctuary. And I believe this is still in my deck. I don't know where this came from. I started with the I have this in my hand, right? Because I started with the Celestine Wagtail. Okay, so I searched that off that. Okay, so Wagtail is going to search the Bird Sanctuary, and then we're going to overlay these two, and we're going to make another Recital Starling, and then we can even activate the effect here to attach if we want to. And then we can activate the Bird Sanctuary here. And then we're gonna draw a card here. So we draw a card. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's nice to have it. And then we can detach for another thing. So now we're gonna get our Barrel Canary to our hand. So we got most everything that we need now. Now, a lot of times they'll be nibbing on the second Recital Starling, by the way, because they don't want you to search. So what you can do there, if they nib you, okay, cross out Designator, banish a Nibiru from your deck, and you're good to go. So a lot of times they'll Nibiru you there. That's the thing, is they don't know if you're playing the FTK or not, so it's optimal to Nibiru you on the second Recital Starling before you search, right? So that sort of makes sense. But now that you've gotten this far, you're not going to go into F0, right? Because they're afraid of F0, because they want, so you're going to just actually link both of these off. That's a little bit crazy, I know, but you're going to link both of these off for a Farigite, okay? And now you're going to activate Farigite, you're going to special summon Nerval, And then you're going to activate Nerval. It doesn't really matter what you banish. Actually, sorry. It really matters what you banish. You need to banish Sapphire Swallow, but you can choose any of the other ones to banish. I'm just going to banish Recital Starling. Well, you don't want to banish Wagtail. So let's just banish Recital Starling. It's safe, but you have to banish the Swallow here. And then we're going to have those two in the banish. And you're going to want to summon out our good friend Bearbrum. Okay. Now, this is where the extra discards come in, because you're going to take your 2 discards that you need, right? You drew 1 off the Bird Sanctuary, and 1 was just your other card in your hand that wasn't crossed out. You're going to pitch them both. You're going to special back the Sapphire Swallow. So why Bearbrum is important is it sort of is a way to get the extra Sapphire Swallow on the field, because Sapphire Swallow adds materials. So it's really, really important that it's adding materials to your thing, because you need 10 materials to FTK. Okay, so now that we've got that, what we're actually going to do is we're actually link these 2 off for our good friend Shuraig. Okay, and the reason we need Shuraig is because we need Shuraig to search something. So we're going to link these 2 off now into Reaperdocus. And Reaperdocus is only ever used for degenerate stuff, and this case is absolutely no different. So, Reaperdocus is here. Okay, and Reaperdocus is here. We're going to add with our Nerval and our Shuraig. So Shuraig is going to add our Kinkabayu, okay? And our Nerval is going to add our Fractal, okay? So that is everything that we need here. We've got our entire combo ready to go. Fractal, why are we needing a Fractal? Because we actually need another Sapphire Swallow. You need like a bunch of Sapphire Swallows for this combo to work. And now we are good to go. So, it doesn't really matter what you do here, but Barrel Canary, you want to make sure you summon back the Sapphire Swallow. Okay, so let's just summon back the Sapphire Swallow. So now we got a bunch of stuff here, right? And what we can do now is we can just overlay it all into any one of the remaining Lyrilusc. It doesn't matter for this case. I'm just gonna use I don't know, Ensemble Robin. I figure, let's just flex that we bought an ultra rare. Okay, so we use the Ensemble Robin. We can activate Sapphire Swallow, technically Ensemble Robin's effect, to attach 2 materials. The only thing you don't want to mess up here is you don't want to attach the Wagtail, because it attaches for free. So just don't attach the Wagtail. So let's attach a Cobalt Sparrow. Technically it would be optimal to attach these 2, because this is best in the graveyard, but it doesn't really matter. You're FTKing your opponent at this point. So let's count the materials. Let's do a quick material count here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things total with the Ensemble Robin, including herself. Okay, so Kinkabayu, special back at level 1. Again, it doesn't really matter what you special summon, just don't special summon back the Wagtail. Okay, so let's just special back Nerval, because we can. And then we're gonna make the Ghost Trick Dullahan here. And then we're gonna make the Angel of Mischief, okay? So the Angel of Mischief currently has 3 materials on it. We're gonna activate Wagtail here. Wagtail's gonna put itself back on the Ensemble Robin. So now, including Ensemble Robin, there's a stack of 7 monsters over here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to activate Lyrilusc Bird Sanctuary. We're going to activate Reaperdocus, making Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief a winged beast. And we're going to target both of these guys here. Target 2 winged beast Xyz monsters. We now have 2 winged beast Xyz monsters here. And we're going to transfer all the materials from one to another, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer all the materials, including this guy, from here to here. Just slap them on top. And then our Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 materials. And let's read Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief really quickly. If you've got 10 materials on the card, you win the duel. So there's 10 materials on the card. Game's over. That's it. So that's why I'm using the pink sleeves on the green mat, because boy does it feel good to troll your opponent. That would be pretty funny to, just like you rub it in their face. I'm using pink sleeves on a green mat while FTKing you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video. I'm now going to move on to the deck profile for all of those that are interested in sort of seeing how this deck actually comes together as a coherent set of cards. Alright guys, we are back with the deck profile portion. I'm going to go through this, card by card, try to explain my choices and sort of show you that this deck is not all about the FTK, and it can play really normal Lyrilusc as well. And I'm going to show you sort of how few bricks the FTK takes up and sort of how that all plays together. So here we go. We're going to start with the 3 Turquoise Warbler, just the best bird. You want to open this one. 3 Cobalt Sparrow. Actually, I just play 3 of all the birds. In the Lyrilusc pure versions, the only time you ever really brick is when you don't draw enough birds, pretty simply, right? So you want to draw enough birds, and then of course we got the 2 new ones, the 3 Barrel Canary, which just basically specials one from grave, except for you can only sea summon, but it's sort of, you can summon it anytime you want, which is great. And then 3 Celeste Wagtail, which you've seen, or I should say Celestine Wagtail, which you have seen, goes and searches some of the Lyrilusc spell and traps, the ones especially you need for the FTK, the Bird Sanctuary specifically. So really important. You want to play as many birds as you can because you want to open them for the FTK and you don't want to brick. Okay, so for the FTK portion, I play 1 Fractal, and then I play 1 Nerval, and I also play 1 Karis. Now, you only need Fractal and Nerval for the FTK. Karis is just something to search off Nerval when you go like Fractal dump Nerval. You want to go for like Tri-Brigade plays. You don't need it, but I like having something to search off the Nerval that's not Fractal, like a special summon, you know, because a lot of times you're going second to Tri-Brigade plays, you can summon like a Shure. You don't have to use it to FTK, right? So this can be really good. I like running the Karis, but you only need the Fractal and Nerval for the FTK. And then 1 Kinkabayu, you need this for the FTK, but it's just not a bad card by itself, you know? You can reveal it off Jack in the hand, and just a solid card in the Lyrilusc deck. So actually not a bad card to have by itself. Now, if you're going to play this deck, and if there was ever a deck for Crossout Designator, well, here it is, and our hand traps reflect that, right? So you don't have to play Crossout Designator, but I figure, listen, if you're going to play an FTK deck, you might as well play the new Crossout Designator. That's sort of what it was meant for, was to stop hand traps, right? So we're going to show a little bit of a main deck that reflects Crossout Designator. I'm running 2 Ash Blossom, I'm running 1 Droll, I'm running 1 DD Crow. Now, Droll I see less in main decks, but I have been hit by it. I could definitely see siding this card and putting it in the side deck, going, you know, just for Droll matchups and for going first game 3. I see a lot of Droll right now. I don't see as much of it in the main deck. A lot of it's much more on the side deck. However, I have seen some of it main. Hard to say, but this deck's 41 cards right now. You could definitely cut one of these cards. One card I would not cut, though, would be the Effect Veiler. Oh, I forgot to talk about DD Crow, but DD Crow just a solid hand trap to run with the Lyrilusc. I search it a lot, and it's also level 1 Winged Beast. 1 DD Crow. Now, this is an interesting one, because Effect Veiler, jeez, I can't speak. 1 Effect Veiler. The reason I'm running the 1 Effect Veiler is because this is actually, you see this a lot in a lot of main decks. It's level 1 hand trap, so definitely worth running. I ran 2 Ash because this is the best hand trap, and also it's the most common one that other people run. So you want to not like be in a situation where you draw the Ash and then don't have an Ash left in your deck to cross that Designator, because you're going to be hitting Ash Blossom really, really often. The problem though with this is, you know, you want, so sorry, I guess not, the good thing is you get to play more Ash because it's also a better hand trap. The problem is you just don't really have space for 3 Ash, which really kind of sucks. So I think it's one of the best hand traps, but you know, we're making sacrifices for Crossout Designator. And then I also play 1 Nibiru. I see this a lot in the main deck still. I mean, just people love this card, and people love blowing out your opponent. And nothing feels better than you go cross out on Nibiru and your opponent cries and then you FTK them. So that is the way to go there. And then the second best hand trap, or maybe even the best, is the Double Infinite Impermanence. These are my only trap cards in the deck. This is just the way to go, I think. You know, you play Double Infinite Impermanence and you know, cross out can hit this. So it's great to run it at 2, just because it's the best, second best crossout, or maybe best crossout target. Okay, so then with that being said, I of course run triple Crossout Designator. If there was ever a deck to run Crossout Designator, this would be it. Because, you know, it's perfect, and you know, it's for an FTK. Like, you might as well run Crossout Designator. But you know, if you draw this right, as you can see, you can have this in your hand, still FTK. You can still have 1 card to spare. So just a really, really sick card to have. And that is that. Okay, so then the other best spell in the deck, Lyrilusc Bird Call. Just broken. You can use this to start your FTK because you want to use the Celeste Wagtail to search the Bird Sanctuary. So that is sort of that. Now, Bird Call, just add any Lyrilusc, and then you can special one with a different name. It's actually really good in the grind game. It's not so great in the FTK, but in the grind game where you can just special back a Warbler, after like searching the Warbler off a different card and then using the Warbler effect to summon from grave. I mean, this card's just fantastic, and really the only reason why Lyrilusc is competitive. Otherwise, we'd probably lose like 5 to 10% off its win rate and just be not a competitive deck. So the support really does help there. And then I am running 2 Jack in the hand. Now, why am I running 2 Jack in the hand? Well, first the question I get asked a lot is why not wear Arfdow? And the reason for that is for the FTK, you have to have this and this in your opening hand, and you can't have summoned anything already, right? You need Warbler Sparrow. And so this just is the only way that I can consistently add one of these two. Now, usually if you're missing the Sparrow, Jack in the hand will get it for you, right? And it'll get it to your hand before you commit your normal summon. So that's extremely, extremely important, right? You can't use Sapphire to summon this out. You need the Sapphire later in the combo. So it's really, really important that you just be able to add the card to your hand. This card's terrible in the mirror match, but I figure, listen, if you're going to FTK your opponent, you just FTK them, right? And move on with life. You're not really too worried about droplets. It's one of the strengths of this deck, right? You don't care about giving your opponent extra droplets material because this deck actually can fight against droplets, whereas other Lyrilusc variants maybe can't because you just FTK them. So they have to hand trap you, which is why playing Crossout is sort of good. That's their only like out. Now you're not FTKing all the time. You're not FTKing even like a majority of the time. This deck would be way too good if you did, but you are FTKing like a decent portion of the time, and it's another axis of the deck, and it's just a good card overall in Lyrilusc. And then I play the 1-for-1, which is just broken, Foolish Burial. The reason why this card's actually worse than Fractal, funny enough. I think Fractal is actually a better card than this card. The problem is that you can't use Fractal in this deck. You're using Fractal to dump Sapphire Swallow, so you can't use Fractal to dump like maybe you're missing the Cobalt Sparrow, right? For example, you can't use Fractal to dump it because then you can't use it to dump Sapphire Swallow in the combo. So actually, Foolish is slightly better than Fractal in this deck for the FTK purposes. And then I run 1 Called By, it's like 4th Called By the Grave or 4th Cross-Eyed Designator, and the 1 Triple Tactics. The reason I run the Triple Tactics, first of all, it's good again, good turn 1. Like if you not going to be able to FTK and the hand trap you still, just Triple Tactics, look at their hand. That usually helps a lot. If you can still combo or draw 2 if you need to help comboing. Now, this is on the 41st card. Again, I think you could cut the Droll probably easily to make room because Droll, I don't see a lot of it in the main deck, whereas it's also just, like I said, another good cross-out designator target because you're able to, what's it called? You're able to geez, I'm blanking, honestly. You're able to cross out designator the talents. It's usually pretty good against your end board because a lot of times if you're not FTKing, you're going for the Utopic Future Ensemble Robin board, which is, although the Ensemble Robin a lot of time can't be Triple Tactics, the Utopic Future can, and then they just attack over your Ensemble, make like a fat Zeus, and then you're like stuck from there a lot of times. So I like having the tactics as an extra thing for the Cross-Eyed Designator. Okay, let's move on to the extra deck. The first thing in the extra deck, obviously, is the Ghost Drake Angel of Mischief. You get 10 Xyz materials on this bad boy, you win the duel. So, okay, you got 1 Ghost Drake Dullahan. You use the 2 birds to summon this, and then you overlay that. You can overlay the Mischief on top. So Dullahan's nice because it gives you an extra material. The one problem with the FTK, I don't mind playing Kinkabaya. I don't mind playing the Tri-Brigades in the main deck. The problem with the FTK is it takes up so much extra deck spots. And the extra deck's really, really tight, but you have to run these two. So that, like, everything is completely mandatory in the extra deck. I don't really see how you could possibly change it up. You could possibly cut like 1 Recital Starling maybe, but like you use 3 so much, right? Like 3 comes up all the time. So I think you got to play 3 Recital Starling, honestly. It's just, like, I don't think you can get away with playing less. So triple Recital Starling, so it's almost mandatory. And I only have room for 1 Assembled Nightingale and 1 Ensemble Robin. I apologize for the proxy, although it's a really, really good proxy. You can't even tell. But yeah, I thought I bought them, but I didn't. So I guess I have to pick these up with the Small World Grand Module deck coming soon. But yeah, Assembled Nightingale, I mean, this card is, like, these are really, really good, but there is just literally no space, right? This is like, and big bouncer. This one's good for OTKing, and then also, just, like, you could even make it turn 1 sometimes, but you need to run these 2, but there's just literally 0 space because the rest of the space is taken up by F-Zero and Draco because you sort of have to run these again. That's just like standard, and then you have to run Zeus because it's just so good, right? So another card that you have to run. And then for the extra deck, you have to run Reaper Dawkins, as you saw in the FTK. You need to change that Angel of Mischief to Winged Beast. And then you have to run Bearbrum because you use it to get the extra Sapphire Swallow. You have to run Farajet because you use it to special summon the Nerval. I believe, I can't remember exactly what it is in the combo because I'm doing the deck profile first, actually. And then you have to run the Shrike because it searches the Kinkabayu. And then you have to run like an Almirage because like a lot of times you just brick and like you need something that you can do. You can run Link Reba, but going back and forth, and a lot of people are saying Almirage is better because there's just random cards that pop. And with Destroy, Phoenix, and Forcer running around this format, I can sort of see that going there. So I feel like the Almirage probably has a little bit of a better hope in that regard. So one Almirage there to round it off, and that's 15 cards in the extra deck. So just sort of a quick flash and review here. This is the biggest problem with the FTK is that it takes up extra deck spots. The main deck spots I'm much less worried about. Like I would love to play like a double Dragon Lords, because that way like if I like open a Tri Brigade, I could like use it on the first turn. Like right now there's no good first turn 1 Tri Brigade play. I would love to be able to play an extra Ensemble Robin or a simple Nightingale, but luckily it hasn't really come up too much. So extra deck's really tight, but you can still fit everything in there. So that's that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is a really interesting way to play Lyrilusc. Let me know if, by the way, you guys find an easier way to FTK. I haven't. I'm really bad at finding combos, but I know there are a lot of great combo theorists out there. So let me know, because that would be really interesting to see if you guys have better ways to FTK. Let me know your thoughts on the deck. Let me know your thoughts on Crass Out Designator and all that stuff. You know, this deck is still a big work in progress. I feel like I haven't seen that many people working on it, so I'd love to get your guys' feedback. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found something new to troll your opponents with. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.